You're watching News.Markets. Crumbling oil prices have meant many oil and gas companies have had to slash spending on key products that many engineering firms rely on. But there are companies at the junior end of the engineering sector that can offer investors opportunities. We're here to talk about one of the UK's oldest and more established sectors, engineering, is Darren Nathan, research and corporate broking analyst at Hybrid. Not the safest haven in the harshest markets, engineering.
No, indeed. I mean, the market as a whole has, we've been flirting at around the 6,000 mark again. And, if you look at our latest quarterly report, the engineering sector's actually underperformed that. But if you think about it, engineering companies have solid long-term order books, blue chip customers that actually pay, and as long as they're not exposed to the danger areas where the big spend cutbacks you've been talking about are happening, then I think they are more solid businesses than perhaps more speculative technology companies.
Well, you said it, I mean, technology, biotech, those are the sectors that make all the business headlines for the right reasons, aren't they? But then if you look at the engineering sector, you've got Smiths Group, new CEO. On the other end of the scale, you've got Weir, who've been relegated because of what's been all the pressures that have been on them. What's the outlook, do you think?
I think you've got to take it on a case-by-case basis. If you're serving big infrastructure projects that are dependent on long-term trends such as population growth, so plane builders, even though China is, some people say it's falling off a cliff, Boeing have just secured $38 billion worth of orders in China. So I think if you've got companies that have long-term big order books to keep them safe for a while and are also innovating and developing new products, then I think you can do well. And there's some really good valuations out there at the moment. I think it could be a buying opportunity.
So let's talk about those buying opportunities. You mentioned some of the junior players. Talk me through who's on your radar. Okay,
one company, Petards Group, that had a bit of a torrid time a few years ago. They've had new management in over the last couple of years. They've really turned it around. It's only worth about 5 million per its market valuation at the moment. Its order book, as it stands, is 19 million. It's recently had very good interim results with a 26% increase in operating profit, and it's on a sub 10 times PE. So that's one I particularly like. There are some special situations as well. Photonics, they're in the high ends illumination for industry, so LED for processes such as curing and laser diodes. That's we're only got a market cap of about 1.5 million at the moment. It's got double-digit top line. It's just gone into EBITDA profitability, and it's got some interesting new products coming out. So that's one we like. And finally, News.Markets Security does access control systems for security, and also, it's a kind of a modern version of clocking in and clocking out for employees. It also does security screens, so quite low tech on that side of things, but it's also sub 10 times PE, 3% yield, and they've got a new product with a cloud-based access control system targeting small and medium-sized enterprises. So that's got nothing to do with cutbacks in the oil and gas industry.
What have those companies got in common? I suppose what I'm getting at is, what should investors be looking for when they're thinking, is this an engineering stock to get in on? Yeah,
well, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They've got solid trading relationships, building order books of business, costs, to a lesser or major extent across those three are under control, and they're focusing on growing the top line and improving their margins.
So it sounds like maybe a return of investor sentiment to old economy stocks, but delve a little bit deeper into
old economy
some of the small players.
And old investment principles.
Darren Nathan from Hybrid, thanks ever so much for coming in.
Thank you, Juliet.